What's good, mi gente? It's your boy VestigeHero out here with the first ever video uploaded onto this channel. This is a small milestone, but a pretty big deal. I'm a newcomer to YouTube content creation, but I've been a long-time fan of My Hero Academia, and with that said, a huge Deku fanboy as well. The purpose of this channel, and my personal goal, is to bring and present and produce as much MHA content that I can. Whether that be doing weekly chapter reviews like this video, thoughts and speculations, One's Justice gameplay, or discussing news about the series, I'll provide my input on all of it. With that said, it's been a long time dream to start creating content here on YouTube, so if you like what you see, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It'd mean a lot. I really do enjoy making these types of videos, and trust me when I say that I have a lot more in store for you guys. At the end of the day, I'm here to provide you with only the best My Hero Academia speculation content. With that said, let's get into today's topic. Chapter 293, holy freaking whoa. I never would have thought that the series would have reached such an intense point. If you would have asked me back in 2017 when I started getting into My Hero, where I thought the storyline would be, I probably would have told you, oh hey, yeah, the heroes are probably going to be training even harder in their second year. But nah, Horikoshi decided to stick it to us with a whole freaking war. Over the past couple of months, we've seen countless critical battles within the Paranormal Liberation War arc, from Endeavor duking it out with Shigaraki to Hawks literally stabbing twice in the back. Everything that has occurred depicts a desperate power struggle between heroes and villains trying to take hold of society and shape it into their own image, and it's needless to say that Chapter 293 only furthers this concept within the story. On a quick side note, I usually stay up on Wednesday nights on Twitter to catch spoilers right as they drop. Usually a user by the name of Atsushi101X posts early leaks and fan-translated summaries of chapters before their scans are released on Friday. However, that night, Twitter was overloaded with Bakugo stands celebrating the supposed release of his hero name, so I didn't get any content to appease my curiosity until the next day. Though honestly, I don't think I've ever seen the fandom go so crazy about Kacchan. Regardless, I remained skeptical until I finally got to read the early scans today. Granted, these are fan-translated and Viz Media doesn't upload their official scans until Sunday, but 9 out of 10 times, these fan-translated scans are fairly accurate. At the start of Chapter 293, aka Hero-Saturated Society, we see a surprised Deku wondering just how the heck Lemillion popped up out of nowhere, and Lemillion is quick to explain that Sir Night-Eye's agency wasn't too far away from the Paranormal Liberation Army's mansion, and that he came to the battle as fast as he could using permeation. Now, this is kinda confusing, considering that the last time we saw Mirio, he was quirkless thanks to Overhaul's quirk-erasing bullet. However, it's then that we're treated to a flashback that explains everything. The day before the war, Mirio is informed that the heroes are going to partake in a sweep operation, and while sitting in the UA Alliance building with Aizawa, Eri, and a couple others, he asks if he can be of help as well. Aizawa gives his approval by stating that Eri has begun mastering her progress over her quirk during the past 2 months by practicing on lizards and insects. We soon find our smiley boy bowing, asking for forgiveness for wanting her to test her rewind on him, but Eri simply cups his cheek and smiles, saying, "Don't apologize. This is what I've trained for after all." Honestly, this is the sweetest moment I've ever seen in MHA, and it's great because we get to see Eri not only give back to the hero who saved her, but we also get to see her smile once more, and that honestly just goes to show how much she's grown over the series. Going back to the present, we then see Lemillion fighting off the 4 Nomus headed towards Best Jeanist, but he quickly becomes overwhelmed. Recognizing that he doesn't have the brute strength it takes to one-shot these horrid abominations, he cries out for backup, and that's when we see a small glimmer of light in the background. Boom! Within seconds, Bakugo flies onto the scene, though this time we get to see his inner thoughts. He pushes himself to use the same consecutive explosions that he used to save Deku only chapters prior, noting that they were different from his normal explosions. It's then that Bakugo blazes towards Jeanist, blowing all 4 Nomu out of his direct vicinity in a fiery display. It's heavily implied that these explosions can only occur when Bakugo feels an intense urge to save other people, and truth be told, these explosions are crazy powerful. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of how Bakugo used explosion in tandem with One for All during the My Hero Academia Heroes Rising movie, and it begs the question, did Bakugo undergo a quirk awakening? I wouldn't be surprised if this was the case because again, these explosions are more than enough to blow away high-end Nomus and allow the other heroes to step in and clean up the rest. Regardless, it's then that Genis asks if Bakugo has returned from the quote-unquote world of the dead, and Bakugo basically says, nah bruh, don't call me that. My real name is God of Explosive Destruction, Dynamite! Basically, everyone aside from Mirio thinks it's trash, but personally, I think it's a great homage to All Might. Good pick, Bakugo. With the Nomus being dealt with and a shot of a tied up Makia, the story then shifts back to Toya and Shoto atop Makia's back. The villain then embraces his younger brother, noting that he's in agony, and Shoto simply replies by saying, your body will burn. Toya then gives off a look of relief and one full of regret all the same, and says that he's happy that Shoto has grown up to be so considerate, but he's fine as long as he gets to see Endeavor suffer by watching him burn his quote-unquote masterpiece. And yeah, the next thing you know, we're given this crazy wicked shot of Toya just going absolutely insane and blasting his little bro with even more flames. I don't even think I have to describe this, like the image speaks for itself. I mean, I don't ever think that I've seen a villain go this crazy aside from Shigaraki, maybe Toga. However, it's then that we see Black Whip cut through the flames from a beat up Deku on the ground below, and upon closer inspection, we see it's coming from his mouth in an epic shot of Izuku imitating Suyu with a special move called Froppy style. Honestly, my boy knows how to think on his feet, though our Broccoli Boy's ingenuity is short-lived as Toya releases another burst of flames, basically destroying Izuku's Black Whip, as the villain says, don't you know it's rude to meddle in other families' affairs? Despite being blown back, despite Todoroki struggling, Deku yells out, I'm meddling because Todoroki is a precious friend, and Endeavor is a mentor who made me stronger. The past doesn't just disappear, and that's why Endeavor is making an effort. That's the Endeavor I'm watching. You are not Endeavor. And just like that, we see the Flame Hero grow emotional and grit his teeth. Izuku recognized that the #1 hero was trying to change and that he wasn't the hate-filled man he used to be. Despite all that had been said, Izuku still believed in Endeavor, and honestly that by far had to be the greatest gift that Enji Todoroki can receive after having his image completely shattered. Though Toya, on the other hand, goes insane once again, enraged by the teen's words. Anybody could figure that out, but don't you pity the likes of me at least? The consequences of the sin committed by a supposed apostle of justice. That's what I am. Evil will no longer prosper, justice will crumble. All that I've done is to show all those susceptible people where to put the blame. Now the future that waits is clear. All the lip service and ego stroking will vanish, and it will bring chaos. In short, Toya states that without heroes, society will fail and it will fall. Unfortunately, a lot of heroes within the story do only want fame and glory, and for that, they've given a bad rap to the title hero, and they do probably have pasts. And now Dabi's making everybody wonder if heroes can be trusted. Thankfully, most of the heroes that were introduced do their jobs for the right reasons, because they want to be selfless. But that isn't the case for everybody else. And again, without heroes, chaos will ensue from both panic, rioters, and villains alike that will rise within the gap that heroes left should they fall. And with that, Makia breaks free of its wired binds. Izuku then states that he feels something familiar, perhaps One for All activating by itself again, though we don't get to see what it is due to Endeavor skyrocketing up towards the gigantic villain as he lands a nasty sucker punch to the face, and Makia instantly drops down onto the ground and loses all strength as the anesthetic that was previously thrown into his mouth finally takes its effect. With a victorious shot of Kirishima, Mina, and Yayurozu in the mountains, we're then shown that the heroes now stand a fighting chance at taking the win. And that's it. That's the end of chapter 293. Pretty crazy, right? For the longest time, we thought that the villains were going to get a dub here, but it's just like how the first vestige of One for All stated, all for one's little brother. Good always manages to defeat evil, and this war is no different. Though, feel free to let me know in the comments if you think otherwise. Speaking of vestiges, now that you finished this video, you're now an official vestige too. In order to lock it in, feel free to subscribe and join the VestigeHero agency. Thanks again for sticking around, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go beyond, plus ultra!